Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the work and world of Vincent Johnson.
Right. He's known as Chicago's bicycle poet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got a few different sources here, some excerpts, one called An Amazing and Inspiring Man, another just pasted text.
Yeah.
And his official biography.
Yeah, it looks like a good mix to get a picture of him.
Our goal really is just to sort of pull out the key things about his work, his creative path, and maybe what resources he shares, get a feel for the person.
Sounds good. These pieces should give us, well, different angles on him, not just his writing, but maybe his perspective, the platforms he uses, like seeing a creator in action.
Okay, so let's dive in. Vincent Johnson, bicycle poet, Chicago, that's clear.
Mm-hmm.
And this really jumped out at me, the sort of say he's 79 years old.
Yeah.
And like actively creating, that's pretty powerful. Shows real lifelong passion, doesn't it?
It really is remarkable. That amazing and inspiring man piece, it really plays up that aspect, how inspiring it is, someone creating with that much energy at his age.
Definitely.
It kind of makes you wonder about the experience, the wisdom that must be feeding into that drive now. What do you think keeps that creative spark going so strong?
That's a really good question. Maybe a whole lifetime of things he's seen now coming out.
Could be.
Speaking of his voice, let's look at his writing. He's got this series of poetry books. They're all titled what?
W-H-A-T.
Spelled W-H-A-T.
Mm-hmm.
And it's apparently an acronym. And a palindrome reads the same forwards and back. Kind of clever.
It is clever. Wisdom honors all truth. That's what the first one stands for.
All right, the first book is W-H-A-T, Wisdom Honors All Truth. Then there's a second one.
W-H-A-T, Wisdom honors all truth. Time answers hard work. Edit a bit more there.
Okay, so Time Answers Hard Work. And then the third one, his latest poetry book, is called W-H-A-T Favorites.
So, quite a body of poetry work already built up there.
Yeah. The palindrome thing is definitely intentional, makes you think about his approach to words.
And the titles themselves. Wisdom, truth, hard work. Gives you clues about maybe recurring ideas in his poems, right?
Makes you wonder how he actually explores those ideas in the poems themselves.
Yeah.
But here's a twist.
Huh.
He's known for poetry, but his next book, the fourth one, is actually different.
Oh, how so?
It's called Cycling Through Systems, and it's his first book of prose.
Prose. Interesting shift.
Yeah. And we even have a release date planned. June 2025.
Wow, okay. So not too far off.
Yeah, it's coming out through a publisher called bepublished.org. So yeah, moving from poetry to prose makes you think about how artists evolve.
It really does. I think one of the texts, the pasted text, mentioned there might still be like poetic bits in the prose.
Oh, that's interesting. So maybe not a complete break.
Yeah, suggests maybe his feel for language, for rhythm, it carries over no matter the form. Why do you think he'd make that shift? Maybe wanting to tell stories differently, explore those systems in a narrative?
That's a great thought. And if you're interested in reading it, Cycling Through Systems is going to be available on his website, which is TurtleLip.com.
TurtleLip.com.
That name, TurtleLip. It definitely catches your attention.
It really does. The source text even called it so funny. You do wonder where that came from.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
In a world of pretty standard website names, TurtleLip stands out.
Totally. Could be something personal, maybe just playful, whatever it is that makes an impression. Maybe hints he's approachable.
Could be. And we also found out you can reserve an autographed copy of Cycling Through Systems right there on TurtleLip.com.
Oh, nice. Direct from the author.
Yeah, that direct connection is always cool. And the theme of the book, Cycling Through Systems, about breaking free from limits, finding your own way to fulfillment, to joy.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really potent coming from someone, with his length of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you wonder what systems he means.
Exactly. Given his age, cycling through systems could mean, well, a lifetime of dealing with society's rules, personal beliefs, maybe even expectations about creativity.
Right.
And kind of arriving at this place of, like, self-direction and freedom in his art. It's a theme lots of people could connect with, really.
True. Now, besides the books, he also does the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's called DBR Radio. Stands for Different But Relevant.
Different But Relevant. Okay, interesting title.
It gives you a hint about what he talks about, right?
Yeah.
The biography says he discusses these different but relevant topics, sometimes has guests on for interviews.
So, conversations, discussions.
Yeah. And just like the books, you can find DBR Radio through TurtleLip.com.
Ah, so the website's the main hub for everything.
Seems like it. Books, podcast, all in one place. It's quite a, multi-platform approach he's got going on.
It is. And a podcast lets him connect differently, doesn't it? More immediate, maybe more conversational than just writing.
Good point.
And that name, Different But Relevant, It suggests he's maybe looking at things outside the usual mainstream discussion, but things that still matter. What kind of topics do you think he'd cover? Different, but relevant. Could be anything, really.
Yeah, it's wide open, isn't it? Now, let's maybe shift gears a little. Let's talk about the self-publishing side of things.
Okay.
We know he's using bepublished.org for the prose book Cycling Through Systems.
Right.
And that amazing and inspiring man source really flags this as a resource for other people, too. Like aspiring writers, filmmakers, even musicians.
Yeah, it is interesting. He's not just doing his own thing, but pointing others towards tools.
Yeah, it suggests maybe he wants to, help other creatives share what worked for him.
Seems that way. bepublished.org comes across as something that helps people get their creative work out there. Makes you wonder why he chose them and why he's highlighting it like that.
Well, the sources do list some specific advantages they offer, like you keep 100% of your rights and royalty.
Oh, that's a big one for creators. Huge.
Definitely. And they mentioned a pretty quick release time, like 7 to 30 days.
Wow, that's fast for publishing.
Yeah. And they also emphasize high-quality production and printing. So it seems like appealing points if you want to self-publish.
They really do hit on key things for indie creators, keeping ownership, speed, quality. That covers a lot of bases, shows a commitment to doing it right.
And get this, for anyone listening who might be thinking about self-publishing, the source mentions bepublished.org offers a free 30-minute strategy session.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just have to call them. The number is 972.880.8316. It was in the text a couple of times. Seems important.
972.880.8316.
Or you can find them online at bepublished.org.
Yeah.
It's almost like you shared not just his art, but the tools he uses too.
It does feel kind of generous, Sharing resources he found helpful adds another layer to how we see him. Maybe not just a solo artist, but part of a bigger creative scene.
So let's try and wrap this up. We've taken this deep dive into Vincent Johnson, Chicago's bicycle poet. We've touched on his poetry, the What series, his upcoming prose book, Cycling Through Systems, coming June 2025, available via TurtleLip.com.
Right, the memorable TurtleLip.com.
Yeah. And his podcast, DBR Radio, also on the site. And we looked at bepublished.org, the self-publishing platform he uses and seems to recommend.
It's quite a mix of things he's involved in, especially as you said at 79.
Absolutely. And it's cool how it all seems to connect through that website, turtlelip.com. Poetry, prose, audio.
Yeah, and his age really does stand out as a reminder that, creativity doesn't just stop. It can keep changing and growing your whole life. You wonder what keeps that fire lit for him.
So for you listening, if any of this caught your interest, his printed nuggets of wisdom, as one source called them, or his different but relevant chats, definitely check out turtlelip.com.
Yeah, and thinking about all this, his work, the resources he shares, it makes you consider something, like how different ways of creating can work together for one person. Poetry, then prose that might still have poetry in it, then audio with the podcast. It shows this really fluid creative drive.
That's a great point.
It kind of pushes us to think about how a core idea or message can be shared in lots of different ways to reach people. Age doesn't really seem to be a barrier for him.
Not at all.
And thinking about his new book title, Cycling Through Systems, it leaves you with a question, maybe. What systems in your own life, creative or otherwise, might you be ready to cycle through?